Two stories to break down and discuss today involving the latest surrounding the future of Romelu Lukaku as well as the future of Marina Granovskaia plus many other figures at the top of the club. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Appreciating all the love and support from you guys recently, man. This is why I love the summer. The vibes are so positive, they're so good. Please continue to show your love. Hit this like button, help me get over 1,500 likes today and get involved in the comments without wasting any more time. So now let's discuss the latest news surrounding the future of Marina Granovskaia. Now this report did come from a website called Court of Sides, very reputable in the UK. A lot of exclusives that they announce and bring, and essentially they're saying that, with Todd Barley's arrival at the club, he is planning a complete restructure of how the club operates at the top, which means that a few figures will be leaving, including Marina plus others as well. Now, we already know that Guy Lawrence recently left us, and he only came to the club only a few seasons back to help with our marketability and to help us get more sponsors and deals around the club. With a new direction now, Todd Barley wants to have the men he trusts and knows behind him. Of course, we've seen what he's done with the LA Dodgers. It's only natural that this was to be expected. They report that Todd Barley wants a new director as well as a new sporting director, so it will be interesting to see whether maybe Petr Cech could be given like an elevated role at the club to be able to, have a lot more say when it comes to what we do in the window. He did do really well in terms of, showing us Edouard Mendy and really persuading us to sign him. One of our best signings in how many years. Incredible piece of business considering that we didn't have a ton of money to spend like 50-60 mil on a new goalkeeper to replace Kepa, just due to how much we spent on the player to begin with. So let's see what happens. Ideally, I'd like to have Cech there. And it does obviously support other reports that came out over the week suggesting that Todd Barley wants to have at least one former Chelsea player at the top under his tenureship. Could that be maybe Drogba? Could that be John Terry? Could that be Michael Ballack, who I'd probably actually like to see? We know that with Ballack, terrible, sad news with his son passing away. I can't even imagine what he's still going through right now. It's just proper devastating. It would be nice that he could have a place at this club, in my personal opinion. But still, Marina, it does make sense that once the summer window does end, he probably will be leaving. It's only natural with how quick this deal had to be done for this takeover to be completed. There's really no time for Todd Barley to really influence how he starts dictate things in the market. That's going to take some time. He's going to need to hire some people as well, and at this point in time, there aren't even like key potential candidates just yet. They are still being interviewed and being looked at. So it only makes sense that Marina will stay here until the summer to help us conduct business, get deals done, because we've already been talking to many targets already, like Ousmane Dembele, Koundé, plus a lot more. So we can't just let her leave for absolutely nothing. But still though, I do know that Marina is highly revered in Europe, and I think I told you guys this recently too, that big clubs in Europe have actually presented offers towards her, trying to entice her. So that really tells you everything you need to know about just how much he's rated in the game. But still, only makes sense that this will probably be the end of like the final bits of Roman Abramovich's influence at the club. I think overall Marina did a very good job with us. It hasn't been perfect. It has not been perfect. I'd probably give everything maybe like, I don't know, like a B- if I was to give it a score. And I'm not going to solely blame her because it's a collective structural thing. A part of me always feel like maybe Roman, he really liked to hire people closely affiliated with him. We know that Marina was actually working at his oil company before, and that's how she got the job here. Plus many other guys like Tenenbaum and Bruce Buck, who was the lawyer actually who helped Roman even buy Chelsea Football Club 20 years back. So it has come with a lot of positives, but also some negatives as well. But I don't want to keep things negative, talking about the story. I do think Marina overall did a good job for us, did incredible business, generated us a ton of money from sales like your Oscars, your Costas, Moratas, Hazards, etc. With Hazard probably being the best ever deal she's got for the club. I mean, we earned 25 million this summer because Real Madrid won the Champions League, and I think from winning the league as well. So I think in total that could amount up to 160 million generated for Eden Hazard. So that is just an incredible piece of business. Yeah, she can be ruthless at times. I think it largely benefits us more than it doesn't benefit us. But still, It'll be interesting to see what she does now with the rest of her career, but I'm sure she'll still be at the very highest level when it comes to football. So you guys, that's the first story out the way. And we end things on the big report today, and that is the future of Romelu Lukaku. Now, the report finally came out from Matt Law from The Telegraph. You know, Matt Law, of course, is the Chelsea correspondent. Maybe a cynical part of me is thinking now that Marina's gone, I wonder who he's going to get his sources from. But, you know, dead jokes aside, you guys. Today, we finally got the clarity we've all been waiting for. And that is Lukaku officially confirming that he does want out. Now, earlier today, an Italian journalist did report that when he questioned Lukaku about his future, all Lukaku really said was he couldn't speak at this point in time. But now we know that Lukaku definitely wants out. And if you guys want to get even more insight behind my thoughts and opinions behind the story, I suggest you watch yesterday's video. You know, I do put in like I like segment the video to make it easier for you guys to find the stories that you want to listen to. You know, it's only right. And, you know, one thing I wanted to stress upon was the relationship between Tuchel and Lukaku, where, you know, there is no bad blood, no animosity. It really is just like an ideological difference. You know, Lukaku doesn't feel he can play his best football here. That was the main thing he kind of focused on and stressed on during that interview back during the start of the year. And Thomas Tuchel believes that, you know, with his system and, you know, the setup, you know, how are you not working here? It's a complicated one, but I think we needed to get clarity because, as I really stressed yesterday, the amount of money this guy costs, if we get it wrong, if he stayed again for another season and things didn't work out, this could set us back for how many seasons? We've been there before. We can't let that happen again. And I guess with me personally, if a player doesn't want to be here and commit, it's only right that they leave and they go. I think it has to be that simple. But regardless, let's talk about some of the terms behind how a possible deal can take place if Lukaku is to go back to Inter Milan. The club, as we know, they want 20 million as a loan fee paid for this season. That seems a bit feasible, in my opinion. I think if Inter Milan want him, pay up the money. But it's really up to Inter Milan now. You know, if they have up until the end of this month really to get Lukaku. If they don't, then I'd really be surprised on where he could go. We know that Bayern Munich could be like a strong backup plan. That's if Barcelona are able to push through the move for Lewandowski. Let's hope they can, because like I'm saying, if a player doesn't want to be here, it's only right that they go and we push him on and sign the targets quickly that we need, because other clubs, man, have such a big advantage over us when it comes to getting deals done in this window. Currently, Inter Milan are actually talking to Paulo Dybala and they're hoping to sign him on a free deal. They have financial issues and they have to sell one big player, but there's more complications behind this though, because the two key guys in Martinez and Bastoni, they don't want to leave Inter Milan and ideally they want to stay. I get it. If I'm Bastoni, you could be playing for a super club next season. Going to Tottenham, I don't think that's probably the best move, personally, even though you have worked before with Antonio Conte. So Inter Milan have to free up funds and find solutions to get this deal done, and this is where everything is still very precarious and everything's still in muds. I feel it's going to be quite a stressful month until we really find out how Lukaku's terms here at the club are going to end. But let's hope that at least there could be some good negotiations. Lukaku earns like 8.5 million after tax. I think it's kind of publicly known though that Lukaku will accept a wage reduction to force through a move back to Inter Milan. And of course, they have to get this deal done by this month, by the end of this month, due to the growth decree law in Italy, where of course players over the age of 20 years old who earn over 1 million a year don't have to pay the highest taxes, because Serie A were trying to encourage more star players to obviously move to Italy. So at least we know now Lukaku wants out. Let's hope we find something, because yeah, I'm a little bit worried behind this. I don't think it's going to be as simple, and I am expecting us to take a little bit of a financial L, which I think we might have to do, because I think in the long run it would work out better for us instead of like committing to him for another season. But still though, it's quite unfortunate why it didn't work out for Lukaku. I know that he's quite unpopular. I know the interview really you know, set back a lot of fans' patience and love for him straight away. I can only share my own personal thoughts and opinions and speak my own truth. I understand the frustration from both him and Thomas Tuchel. I'm not going to fully blame Tuchel because Lukaku was signed, because, you know, no manager tells clubs the players they want. You know, players are presented to Thomas Tuchel. Why do you think Saul was signed last summer as well too? At the time, he probably thought something could happen. We know that Lukaku was the backup to Haaland. I have to say though, if Haaland was signed, would Tuchel have really used him differently to how Lukaku was used this season? Because I don't think Haaland would have been this platform striker that's going to hold the ball up and bring people into the game. I don't think that's his game whatsoever. And I do think that it could have been an even bigger L actually if we somehow were able to afford Haaland. So I definitely think that both Tuchel and Lukaku can take some responsibility behind things. Yeah, maybe Lukaku shouldn't have been so upfront about maybe his concerns about how he was used back in January during that interview. But at the same time, you know, he wanted a lot of reassurances before he even wanted to come to the club. Let's not forget the stories last summer. I kept stressing in the summer, the reason why he's been made the highest paid player in our entire history was a commitment to Lukaku to show him, listen, we believe in you and we want you here. So ultimately that meant nothing. And I still kind of feel like maybe Tuchel gave up on him a bit too early. And, you know, I kind of think, in my opinion, you know, managers need to find solutions for these players to get something out from them. I mean, the fact that he still leaves potentially as our highest scoring player of the season, I just see it more as like potential that could have been. If he was awful, he wouldn't be the highest scorer of our season whatsoever, especially during the game time he had and the injuries and COVID. He was out for a month and he had COVID too, which made it harder for him to get back. Maybe I could be sounding annoying to some of you guys, I don't know, but I just think that this isn't like a black and white situation where there's like a hero and a villain. I don't know, maybe for me it's like more of a structural failure. And with Todd Barley planning to bring in an entire new group for the future of the club, it makes me optimistic that we are going to see better deals done now. Because, you know, I'm always saying this, when Liverpool's and Man City's and other big clubs, when they spend big money on players, you know, 75% of the time, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, these guys add something to their team straight away and take them to another level. Lukaku isn't the first big name player we've signed that just hasn't lived up to things, and it doesn't come down to poor attitude and things like that. Ultimately, if you want to get the best out of a player, you have to use him in a way which allows him to play. And I just think that as I keep stressing, you know, Lukaku's strength is always focused on more than the rest of his game. It happened at Man United. It happened here as well too. I don't think he leaves here as a failure and that he can't hack English football. That's nonsense because he scored goals for Everton. But I don't know. It's just a shame that it didn't work out for him. I think deep down the player really wanted to make things work. But currently, just a bit of an ideological difference between Tuchel and Lukaku. And it's best for our entire long-term future if he does leave. So I hope he gets a move. I wish him luck in the future. I hope we get the money for it as well too, so we can start doing big business in the window. So you guys on that note, share your thoughts and opinions behind Lukaku and how you feel about him potentially leaving. I'm the EFC, this is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.